Well, welcome to the free live Monday Marketing Plan Q&A. I'm John Hunt, author and marketing strategist with MarketingPlanGuide.com. We do this every Monday from 3 o'clock to 3:30 Central Time. And the purpose of this session is to allow you to ask any questions related to creating your marketing plan. So let's go to the very first question I have for today, which is this: what is the best way to scrub a database? And people use the term scrub or maintain or clean or whatever you want to say, but it is definitely a thing that you need to do when you maintain a database. So I always say the biggest question to ask when thinking about scrubbing a database is, does the lead meet my ideal customer profile? Does the lead meet my ideal customer profile? In other words, how the person who is our ideal customer, you've created this when you've created your marketing plan. You've got that buyer persona put together of that ideal customer. Does the lead meet that profile? If it does, and if they're still in the game, you don't want to take them out of your database. You want to leave them in there. There may be another question why they're not buying from you or responding to you. So that's the first question to ask when looking at trying to scrub your database is, does the lead meet my ideal customer profile? Now, one of the most common errors I see in looking at a database from a business owner or marketing manager's perspective is viewing it as a single entity, one large database. And what you really want to do is you need to have a segmenting strategy. A segmenting strategy where you really, the one large list is just everybody, but you have broken this list into different categories or profiles, and there's a zillion different ways you can do that. But you got to have a segmenting strategy put up front and in place. And what I say is you want to have this as a part of your prospecting and lead generation system. If you're in the sales environment, you have what you call sales funnel. And if you can envision a funnel, it's very wide at the top and very narrow at the bottom, and all of your lead gathering activities are going to put people on the top of the funnel. But what you want to do is you want to move people from cold to lukewarm to let's get these people hot and fired up for what we're going to sell them. And as part of that lead generation and prospecting strategy, you want to have an ability in your database to segment those different profiles into different sub-lists, so to speak. And one good way to do this is to do an 80-20 analysis of your existing book of business. Take a look, and where's the money coming from, baby? Where is the money? And take a look at your past customers and how they are interacting with you and what kind of sales level, and then try to do that customer profile on those individual segments, and perhaps you can segment that list in a variety of ways. But you always want to focus on the people that are the most productive for you, and then you're going to look at creating a different marketing message or tactic to those who are the ones that engage with you regularly. And we'll talk about that a little more in a moment, but you don't want to talk to everybody the same way. And sometimes it takes someone a little longer to warm up to you, depending on how long your sales cycle is as well. So you want to really map this out in your segmenting strategy in advance and think about those different kinds of messages. You're going to talk differently to someone who's your best friend than to someone who you've just met a few minutes ago. So it's the same with your segmenting strategy and in your funnel, in your sales funnel, to get those different marketing messages, those different tactical things that you're going to do. And then what you want to do is really focus on the people who engage with you regularly. And let me just talk about that for a moment. A good lead, a good prospect is somebody that's having a conversation with you or that you're engaging with. They've kind of raised their hand and showed some interest. So, you want to try to move these people down the funnel, so to speak, and you want to get them onto a sub-list. So let's talk about that. It's very important for your CRM, your customer relationship management system, or your autoresponder if you're doing the internet marketing and primarily with the email and some of that kind of data, that it can help you do this. because what you want to do perhaps in your marketing strategy, you're going to say, hey, within 5 or 10 days of that first contact, I want to get these people to raise their hand a little bit more and say I'm interested in X or Y or Z, and thus get them funneled into that particular segment of your list. So having a good CRM or autoresponder system will help you do that. And it goes back to our initial question, which is how do you scrub your list? That's really self-scrubbing. It's part of your strategy. You're not just going in and say, oh, let's say I haven't talked to him for a while, take him off. I haven't talked to her for a while, take her off. You want your strategy, your funnel system to do this work for you. So you really need to lay out that flow chart and say, okay, let's get people to move down the funnel, and here are the different messages and tactics that we're going to do to do that. And one of the most important parts of that is engaging your leads with offers or options that force them to make a choice. Okay, so when we're talking about these different marketing messages and tactics, what can you do to make that customer or prospect raise their hand? How can you engage them? Give them a choice. Say, here's such and such, do this. Or here's an offer available for this amount of time, opt in here, or, find more information here. And you gather that person, you get them on a separate list that starts to move them down into a new segment. But, the idea of trying to create a universal way to eliminate somebody off your database is very difficult, because if the database gets too big, you're not going to have the knowledge to know what they're doing. So you want to create this in your segmenting strategy. Now, we hear a lot about dead leads, which are those people who are on your list but they haven't bought from you. Well, I like to say have a dead lead process. Are these leads dead, or are they just wounded? And really, the question to ask yourself is, when will you revisit them again? That should also be part of your strategy. Let them sit for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, depending on your product and your service and your process. But you need to have a process for that dead lead so you can regenerate it. So you may not actually scrub them or take them off your list. You may move them to a dead lead list, and then move them off that when you re-engage them and can get additional additional attention from them when you've engaged them. John Hunt here from MarketingPlanGuide.com saying so long, and thank you for attending, and we'll see you next Monday at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time.